The Sony Xperia 1 Mark III is the best smartphone the company has made for years, offering a top-tier smartphone display, great battery life, and a versatile camera that's easier to use than those on previous Sony handsets. It isn't the right phone for everyone. There are some unique elements in Sony's approach to handsets that mean they may not be for you. But if you like Sony smartphones or you're willing to try something a bit different, then stay tuned. Sony is making a big song and dance about how this is the world's first 4K 120Hz smartphone, although that claim might not be as impressive as it sounds, as Sony is currently the only brand making 4K phones. That 120Hz upgrade makes this screen better than ever though, with super smooth scrolling the icing on the ultra high resolution cake. The 6.5-inch 21:9 aspect ratio display certainly won't be for everyone. It's designed that way to offer the big screen experience when watching video, and this has a big impact on the design of the handset. It may make it difficult for some people with smaller hands to hold. That said, this is the best screen that we've seen from Sony for some time, and it's one of the best on any phone released in 2021 so far. The volume rocker and the power button are on the right hand edge of the phone, and the fingerprint scanner is built into the power button, so you're not getting an in-screen sensor as you would on a lot of other smartphones around this price. The bottom edge houses a USB-C port, and the SIM tray is on the left edge, and on the top edge of the phone you're getting a 3.5mm headphone jack. This is a major selling point for some people, as it's a feature that has disappeared from a lot of the top-end smartphones. The camera has been upgraded over the Xperia 1 Mark II, but the new features aren't exactly game-changing. Heading up the camera array is a 12-megapixel f1.7 aperture 24mm wide-angle shooter, which acts as the main camera. There's also a 12-megapixel f2.2 16mm ultra-wide for when you need to get more people or more of the scene into the frame. The unique element of the Xperia 1 Mark III's camera setup is an adaptive telephoto camera, which comprises a 12-megapixel sensor and two lenses, an f2.3 70mm telephoto lens and an f2.8 105mm lens for even greater reach. But why would you want an adaptive camera? Well, Sony says this is faster than switching between two separate telephoto cameras, and in our testing, we found using the camera to be a smooth experience that can offer great image quality and more flexible use than on other phones. In fact, we found this the easiest camera to use on a Sony phone in quite some time. The automatic mode works well, and if you're willing to play around with the settings, you'll find even more is possible via the in-depth shooting app. There's also a dedicated camera shutter button at the edge of the phone, positioned so that it's easy to hit when you're holding the phone in landscape mode. Sony has even embossed it onto the Xperia 1 Mark III so that it's easier to work out which button you're hitting. One of the major differences between this phone and 2020's Sony Xperia 1 Mark II is that it's slightly thicker. That's to fit in a new larger battery. It doesn't feel too thick though, and it feels reassuringly premium. And speaking of that battery, it's a 4,500 mAh cell, and we found that the phone was able to last a full day even with intensive usage. There's also new wireless charging features such as reverse charging. Inside the phone is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 chipset and 12GB of RAM, which we found delivered impressive performance throughout our testing. And you've got the option of 256GB or 512GB of storage. That's plenty of power and more than enough storage space for your average user. The starting price of the phone is $1,299 in the US and £1,199 in the UK, which is slightly more than the cost of the Xperia 1 Mark II. And while the phone has gone on sale in the US and UK, there's no word on whether it'll arrive in Australia. Sony doesn't typically sell its phones in Australia, so we're not holding out hope that it'll arrive there. The Sony Xperia 1 Mark III isn't for everyone, but for those who enjoy Sony Android phones or who want a top-tier smartphone with a versatile camera, beautiful screen, and strong battery life, this is a great choice. It's expensive, and its design could be polarizing, but if your budget can stretch to it and you're a fan of its looks, it could be a great option. We give it 4 out of 5 stars. If you liked the video, remember to drop a like, consider subscribing so you don't miss our future phones reviews, and if you want to read the full written review from James, head over to techradar.com right now. I've been Matt Phillips, and I'll see you on the next one.